Jace, go win that Golden Pipe trophy for me. I know you can do it. You're a winner. You always have been.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Power Rangers tackled serious issues.
I had failed my planet, my squad,
If humans had taken better care of their worlds, orgs never would have appeared. We are their creation, and we are not to be blamed for this terrible mess.
You think they deserve the same justice we do? Why? They're not even human. Look at him, he's a freak!
For this list, we'll be looking at moments in the series and comics that tackled the heavy topics we wouldn't expect them to. Not only will some issues be heavier than others, but expect spoilers ahead. What do you think was the toughest issue the Rangers faced? Let us know in the comments. Personally, we're still struggling to know why a group of teenagers is being forced to save the world anyway. Number 10. Long-distance relationships. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Pink. Remember Kimberly's Dear John letter to Tommy and Zeo, where she admits that she met someone else, leaving scores of Tommy x Kimberly shippers heartbroken?
But I feel like I found the person that I belong with. He's wonderful, kind, and caring. You'd really like him. Everything would be perfect if it weren't for hurting you.
Well, the 2016 comic miniseries gave us another side of the breakup, one that really opens our eyes to relationships. In this continuity, there never was anyone else. Kim broke it off with Tommy because she struggled with her feelings for him, knowing that what they used to have was far behind her. This is, unfortunately, not unlike real long-distance relationships. Sometimes, the space proves too much for a couple and they just grow apart. It's tragic when it happens, but the most we can do is hope they maintain a healthy friendship.
Can we live what we know is true? Can we lift our spirits high in you? I believe in you. Stop, run.
Number 9. Learning disabilities. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. As cheesy as the original Mighty Morphin seasons were, they tackled some rather heavy topics now and then, one of which includes learning disabilities.
Yeah, you read them backwards. That's what caused such an adverse reaction.
Oh man.
Rocky's classmate Alan has been having trouble in school. He's struggling with chemistry formulas and has trouble reading properly. It turns out that Alan has dyslexia, a reading disorder that makes it hard to read or understand words and letters, especially when under stress.
What do you mean? When I check the things I've written down, it's like I'm seeing things upside down and backwards.
But really, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Lots of people are dyslexic, including Rocky's uncle. It doesn't mean they're not smart, it just means they need a little help.
When we're under stress, we tend to interpret numbers and letters a little differently than other people. Not all teachers recognize the problem.
And now we know what the problem is. Mr. Wilton said he knows ways to help.
With the right teaching, anyone can work past the disorder and power through school and life. Number 8. Divorce. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's Parents' Day at Angel Grove, and everyone is enjoying the festivities, except for Kimberly. She's nervous about seeing her parents together again since they split up.
Kimberly, what's wrong?
Everything is so messed up. My mom and dad have hardly seen each other since they got divorced. I don't know, sometimes I just think this is all my fault.
Yes, it turns out Kimberly's parents are divorced, and she's naturally taking it the hardest. She's worried that they'll both be uncomfortable around each other, and she feels like it's all her fault. Sadly, that is a common mindset for kids with divorced parents, upset over their family coming apart and feeling the need to blame themselves.
I was kind of afraid that, I don't know, you might feel uncomfortable.
Fortunately, both Kimberly's parents are there to reassure her that even though it didn't work out for them, they'll always love their daughter. Something all children in broken families need to know.
Just because we're divorced doesn't mean we don't love you. We'll always be here for you.
Number 7. Death. Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. The In-Space Lost Galaxy 2-part team-up was arguably one of the best crossovers in the franchise, but it ended on a very somber note. A violent storm threatens to destroy Terra Venture, but Kendrix puts her life on the line to save her colony.
We've got to do something. I'm the only one that can save her.
You'd think she'd get out of this miraculously, but no. She gets caught in the crossfire and becomes the first ranger to die on the battlefield.
I'm okay. I'll always be here.
In reality, Kendricks had to be written off the show while her actress was fighting leukemia, but it gave viewers a grim reality check. Not every soldier comes back from war alive. However, the message was made moot with her revival in the season finale.
Kendricks? I knew you'd make it here. Kendricks!
Number 6. Free will versus predetermined fate. Power Rangers Time Force. Arguably one of the deepest seasons of the franchise, Time Force raised the question most of us barely ask ourselves. How much control do we have over our lives? With every battle between the Rangers and Rancic in the past, something changes in the future.
I have no idea what the future holds. I know people are in trouble now.
Knowing that is scary enough, and it challenges the idea that we're capable of controlling our own destinies. Will anything we do matter in the future?
I have the perfect future planned out for you.
Your future, not mine. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm really making a difference.
Has the future already been decided? Will there even be a future worth protecting? Fortunately, we have someone like Wes to inspire us to take charge of our own destinies and make the future our own, not just what fate or someone else decides.
Wes's destiny is to take over his father's company, Biolab. Well, maybe it was, but the future isn't written in stone. We each make our own destiny.
Number 5. Survivor's Guilt. Power Rangers SPD. Guilt has been a recurring issue for the series, dating as far back as Season 2 of Mighty Morphin, where Jason blamed himself for Tommy losing his powers.
It's my fault he lost his powers in the first place. If I'd gotten the green candle, he'd still be one of us.
Come on, Jace, you had no choice. I know, I was there.
In SPD, however, it's taken to an extreme new level, as Commander Kruger suffers from serious survivor's guilt. His planet was invaded and conquered by Emperor Grum. His wife was taken from him, and he was the only survivor of the brutality.
I was alone. My people were gone. I was the last of my squad. The last of my kind.
Sadly, trauma like this never truly goes away, and Kruger remains haunted by that terrible battle. Fortunately, it also inspired him to give it his all to defeat Grum, as both a mentor and the Shadow Ranger.
SPD emergency! Shadow Ranger!
Number 4. Eating Disorders. Power Rangers Turbo. Kat is excited to be performing the lead in the upcoming ballet until a jealous dancer gets inside her head and makes her think she's overweight.
Hey Kat, aren't you gonna eat?
No, I'm not hungry.
Well, that's a new one. You're always up for something to eat. What's wrong?
Well, it's just that with the ballet, I want to look my best.
She starts skipping meals, desperate to look her best for the suite, until she's starving and feeling lightheaded. It only gets worse when Divatox's monster gets involved. Thankfully, a little self-confidence is all Kat needs to ditch the crash diet and give an amazing performance at the show.
That was the finest performance I've seen in a long time. You have a style and grace all your own. You should be very proud.
While we're glad she didn't take her anorexic behavior too far, some people, unfortunately, aren't as lucky and let their self-image issues reach dangerous levels. Despite this season's infamy, you've got to hand it to Turbo for daring to tackle this delicate subject.
I think I understand now. It's not how I look that matters. It's what's in my heart that counts.
Number 3. Loss. Power Rangers SPD. Another big subject SPD wasn't afraid to take on. Loss. As we mentioned earlier, Commander Kruger still mourns the loss of his homeworld, but there's another ranger coping with loss. Sky.
All I ever wanted to be was just like him. A Red Ranger.
So your father was an incredible guy.
He was my hero.
Sky's dad was an SPD Red Ranger and Sky's idol, but he didn't make it out of a battle alive one day. Much like Kruger's move to defeat Grum, Sky's loss drove his desire to become the Red Ranger, to follow in his father's footsteps and honor his memory.
This one's for you, Dad.
SPD, emergency!
I don't care what color you are. You're going down.
I don't think so.
Both Skye and Kruger's stories show how difficult struggling through a loss is, and how it can motivate someone to better themselves in honor of their dearly departed.
Well, I know he would have been proud of you if he could have seen you in action today.
In a weird way, I felt he was with me.
Number 2. Environmental destruction. Power Rangers Wild Force. This issue is pretty much a benchmark of Wild Force: pollution and environmental terrorism.
The ozone's gone, toxic waste is being dumped everywhere, animals are getting sick, and the environment's being ruined.
The biggest reason the orgs were able to rise again was that the Earth's pollution became dangerously high. Nature is suffering, animals are getting hurt, and it's slowly becoming a toxic playground.
Humans made all this trash in just 3,000 years.
Yes, this season can be a bit preachy about environmental protection, but it's not an issue we can simply ignore. The fact is, we need to do a better job of cleaning up the planet, and we don't have Power Rangers to help us. In addition, we also shouldn't punish the ones actually fighting to save the world. Seriously, what the hell, Animus?
I'm taking the Wild Swords away from you. You will have to fight without them.
Animus, no!
You humans have made a mess of the Earth. The Wild Swords will not help you again.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Racism. Power Rangers Time Force. Taking the number 1 spot is arguably the heaviest issue the Rangers have dealt with to date, one that, unfortunately, still plagues us today.
The future isn't very accepting of imperfection. I was shunned by everyone who saw me, an outcast.
Society cast Ransik aside solely because of his appearance, which ultimately led to his own hatred of humans. Even Eric, a Power Ranger, was clouded by prejudice, willing to try and shoot an innocent mutant for being different.
Eric, you're making a big mistake.
There's no mistake. Mutants have to be destroyed, plain and simple.
The cycle of hatred and racism is a poison that hurts anyone it touches, and the victims of xenophobia suffer the worst. However, one brave soul willing to stand up for what's right can make a huge difference, and someday, maybe we can break the cycle of hatred and live in peace.
Humans rejected your father and taught him to hate. Then he destroyed me, and soon I was filled with hatred as well. It's a vicious cycle that never ends, Nadira!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.